What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense. I'm back. It feels like it's been a minute. We got a lot to discuss. So like the video's intro plays, we got a lot to get into.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense to me intellectually.
Make it make sense. You know what was up.
Big moves.
Surfer.
Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things.
Your name is right now, bad boy. Love. Well, we about to make love. And then we gonna change your name back to Diddy. Cause then we gonna Diddy. Then we gonna change your name back to Puffy. Cause that's what you gonna be when we done Diddy.
I like that.
Hold on, you ain't supposed to like it.
I like what you're talking about.
I don't like it if you
I hate
like
scrambling and scraping.
Hey,
That's a lot. I like that. I like you.
guard?
I ain't locked in here with you, playboy. You locked in here with me.
Hey, no Diddy, bro.
And grab that baby roll over there and lather up.
Lather up.
Thought I told you that. We won't stop.
Man, hold
Thought
on.
I told you.
Okay, guys. So before we even get into Kirk, Rashida, all I can say is Rashida got a lot more than bags. We got to talk about this because it feeds into the homeless situation. So, Trump made this announcement.
Action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening. They've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C. And
Okay, so this is not a new law. The law was already on the books. Him putting it into action currently, I think, is still a distraction from the Epstein files. They are throwing everything out there to distract from Epstein. Don't be distracted. But let me show you what this looks like in real time. Someone recorded this. This is their interaction with the police force that's now walking around.
I'll stay in that trouble. You got your ID on you, chick?
No, I live right here.
Okay, cool.
There's a cigarette.
All right, come on.
Did y'all get a?
So I don't get into politics, but if this can happen to DC, it can happen anywhere. There should never be a time when I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't smoke, but if I'm smoking a cigarette on my porch, I don't need police to come up to me and lecture me. I need police to do their jobs and keep me safe. And I know that they do that, but this is not that. This is not that.
Call us up right here.
No, so we're doing checks, keeping everybody safe down here, right? Have you heard of the federal surge that Donald Trump's putting out?
No.
Right. You don't follow like
No.
Code 3 anything like that people are putting up? All right, so yeah, Trump's got all federal agencies kind of coming together 7 days and going out, trying to stop the violent crime, all kind of stuff. So we're out here contacting people, talking to them, right? Quality of life offenses, smoking, drinking in public, right? Can't happen outside, right? Most people know that. So we're contacting people, trying to advise them of the law so they learn, right? And then if there's other stuff going on where it turns into there's multiple agencies or somebody, there's shooting and things like that. There's extra hands as well, right? So we're just out here trying to inform people and educate people. It's not like we're trying to just go grab people and ruin someone's life. for a joint or something like that. All right.
I only asked because when you walked up, at the moment you walked up, you only asked me.
Yeah, well, it smelled like the odor of marijuana, burnt marijuana in the air, right? And you're the only guy that had something lit in your hand, and I didn't flash.
He literally was smoking a cigarette. He was smoking a cigarette. To me, this screams police state. And although I am not a political reporter, we have to talk about this because this is really happening. I wonder if in every area of DC they're doing this. Because if that's the standard, then it should be everyone should have police coming up to them when they're outside smoking a cigarette.
So I didn't realize it was just a cigarette, so that's on me. I appreciate you understanding and not getting chippy. All right, so just know, right? Learn, teach, tell your boys, yo.
He was smoking a cigarette, and the man didn't admonish him for smoking a cigarette. He was saying, I thought it smelled like weed, and I'm just letting you know that you can do that. Technically, it is legal to smoke weed there. So, no, he wasn't smoking weed.
Everybody's out, from FBI to park police. Right? So do your thing. Let them know. Don't be smoking outside. Don't be drinking outside. Because Donald Trump is tired of it. People come to visit.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know smoking in public?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, right.
Donald Trump is tired of people seeing that when they come to visit Washington. What? What?
Because in Maryland, there's recreational use, so I ain't know.
Yeah, so DC, it's recreational use as well, right? But you can legally possess up to 2 ounces. You can gift an ounce to your boy, right? So if you had 2 ounces and he said he needed a zip, you can give him a zip, but you can't smoke outside. How y'all doing today?
That is scary to me, and I'm a law-abiding citizen. I feel like police put their lives on the line every day to protect and serve. I get that. But in terms of them coming up and talking to me and trying to explain certain laws to me, the man wasn't drinking. So why are you telling this man who's smoking a cigarette outside, which is legal, that he shouldn't be smoking weed or drinking outside? Is that it? Like, is what? That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy and absolutely scary. And if you're not going around telling everybody else in every neighborhood that they can't drink or smoke outside because the president wants to do it, then don't do it in select neighborhoods. That is absolutely scary. Now, I wanted to talk about that to get to this. You guys know that homeless people are... I volunteered for years at a homeless shelter in my city, and you learn so much because homeless people don't necessarily want a home. Sometimes homeless people don't want to live at a shelter. Sometimes homeless people are very comfortable exactly where they're at. They might go to a shelter for food, but at the end of the day, they are people who do not have money, and they are American. You listen to this.
Will be given the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services. And if they refuse, they will be susceptible to fines or to jail time. Again, these are pre-existing laws that are already on the books. They have not been enforced, which is part of the reason for this federalizing of the National Guard to bring in this assistance for law enforcement. While we are targeting criminals and trying to remove criminals off of the streets, we also want to make DC safe and beautiful, and that involves removing mentally disturbed individuals and homeless encampments as well. So homeless individuals will be given the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services. And if they refuse, they will be susceptible to fines or to jail time. Again, these are pre-existing laws that are already on the books. They have not been enforced.
So let me tell you what that looks like. The best example I can give is Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams has what I'm sure a lot of people without money have. But because Wendy Williams has money, and because Wendy Williams paid taxes, and because Wendy Williams' money can be divvied out to attorneys, they have that woman basically in prison. Whereas all of the other people who do not have money are not required to get a conservator. They're only conserving her money. In terms of homeless people, it makes no sense to say you have to go into drug rehab, because if the wealthy and the donors who are drug addicts are not being forced into rehab, rehab is something that somebody has to go into, unless you're in jail, and they'll give you the drugs to help you get off. They'll give you, like what they're doing to Diddy, they'll give you whatever you need to get off drugs. Outside of that, you can't force somebody into rehab. So the average homeless person who is not in a shelter, who doesn't want to be in a shelter, is now being forced into either jail or rehab or treatment facilities because the president doesn't like the look of it. If you aren't going after the Tucci, the people who do the top drugs, then why the hell are you going after the people who do the bottom drugs? So I put this comment. I said, so we're jailing the homeless now. More taxpayer dollars utilized to pay private prisons. Got it. The bots were on me. Like this person, 201973. I'm not a Trump supporter, but I listened and the proposal sounds fair to me. When I go to her page, why would a real estate agent whose branding includes their social media have a private account? That does not make sense. That doesn't make sense. Yo, this is a bot. And so we learned during the 2016 election how bots, played a part in the election, but you could usually see that they had no followers and they were only following people, and it was easier to see. And, they had names that were often misspelled because they were coming from other countries. Now they're a little bit more sophisticated. So bots will have followers now. Oftentimes their page will be private. What licensed real estate agent would have no name attached, no company? They're in sales. They want you to know who they are. They're going to be advertising homes, offices. This is a bot. So I make one logical comment on the neighborhood talk, and the bots go in. Don't be fooled, people. But let's get into the mess. So the other day, we were listening to Kirk, Rashida argue, fight over dumb, petty stuff. So I think we'll play this.
Rashida got bags.
So Rashida had a concert recently. She had a concert recently, and I think it was a free concert. I don't really know where the beef started again, but Kirk decided to jump in and show that K. Michelle's streams weren't what they should be. Let's do this on a lead. Where are the stats? Oh, here we go. So, Rasheeda and Kirk are not my favorite. They posted that she had all of these millions of streams. Let me just say this. I am a K. Michelle fan, but I also know that at least K. Michelle's first 3 albums were top R&B albums, very easily outdoing anything that Rashida had done. I like Bubblegum, but the Legs to the Moon was a bit much. She's somebody's. Let me stop. Not Kirk and his 3 earrings. So I told you it's gonna go from foolish to serious, serious to foolish. So K Michelle responded. She said, "You really sat there and let that man embarrass you again today. Talking about a Spotify listener for a TikTok challenge song. Crazy. I'm number 4. I'm 4 number 1 Billboard albums, 2 platinum records, 5 gold records, and just got off stage as I have been for years. You want me to keep going? The music discussion ended before it started, just like your comical rap whisper. Everyone knows that you are not a oh, Jesus. Everybody knows you are not a talented lady. Don't deflect. This is about mocking a woman's abuse for years and being the ringleader of the bashing me circus. You're most known for the longest running fool on TV. You got the karma you deserve. Now I'm going to sleep. I have another show tomorrow. Additionally, they say that they're testing out K Michelle for the next season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I like K Michelle. I don't see that as a great fit. I see that as probably going in the wrong direction again. Maybe trying to tap into a younger demo, but whatever. They saw how well Angela from Housewives was received, so it would make more sense to probably go that route than another like Portia character. Since we're being messy, and I haven't been messy. Wait, we only got 400 likes, and I'm about to be messy. Y'all gotta get them likes up. I love K Michelle, but I don't think she's gonna be great for Housewives. We got to get the likes up in order for me to be messy. Did she post a video?
She got back. She got back. For the girl. Her career all over the world.
Okay, so I remember the most random stuff, but when K Michelle was going in on Nicki Minaj, she also went in on Portia. The allegation was that the allegations was that Nicki Minaj had used the same doctor as her. It was all over Nicki not wanting her to work with Meek. But when it comes to Portia, she specifically said that she had been dating some ballers, and after each one of these ninjas in step Portia, they just did not want Portia to be on their arm in public. So this would have been around the time that she finally started dating some small time football player named Dougie or Doogie or Dookie. I don't know. But yes, K Michelle said that Portia was dating around and Portia was dating the ninjas after her. So if they do bring her to Housewives of Atlanta, that will be already a tie-in, and she's already gonna have dirt a la Ocho Cinco wanted me on on Basketball Wives. And do I believe it? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I mean, if she is there, Portia should probably watch out because K Michelle really don't care. And K Michelle, unlike the other ladies, will fight. She'll bless you with the candle. Ask Rashida. She'll make fun of your singing. Ask Rashida. But yeah, so I don't know why I be remembering this random stuff, but yeah. Anyway. Oh, I mean, and absolutely, yes. So K Michelle was with R. Kelly, and then after R. Kelly, she got with somebody named Memphis, who I think was like a producer or something like that. That's when she had like a $1 or $2 million deal. She dated him. She talked about the fact that he beat her. And although K. Michelle is not perfect, I absolutely do believe when she said that the man had beat her, she wanted to be an advocate for domestic violence. That's what actually initiated the beef between Rashida and K. Michelle. Rashida was going to her domestic violence talks and stuff like that, but didn't believe her because Memphis was already dating her friend, Lil Wayne's baby mama, Toya Wright. We later found out that Memphis was allegedly aggressive with Toya Wright, but there was never any apology or public, kumbaya between the two after she found out that he was also aggressive with her friend. So forever, that has plagued Rashida because it was really a trash thing to do. R. Kelly was producing K. Michelle, and R. Kelly was also allegedly sleeping with K. Michelle and Portia. So when K. Michelle was talking about Portia coming behind her and sleeping with men, we don't even know if she was talking about R. Kelly because this is messy. He had Portia not locked, but in a room filled with mirrors top to bottom for 12 hours. And then she had to get on live on Dish Nation and pretend like she didn't know who he was. So yeah, it's all messy. Yeah, R. Kelly put in a word to get K. Michelle out of her $2 million contract after K. Michelle, after the abuse stuff came out. So yeah, it got real messy. But let's move into, I told y'all this is going to be up and down. So there's not too much to be said about Kai Frost, Kirk and Rashida's son. But several years ago, while he was still not even of age, this was what came out. Allegedly, Kai had been sending nude pics. Some people say it was somebody who was above age, and he was involved in a revenge piece situation where they put his pics, Kai, the one we're about to talk about, on the internet. Pics and a video, some man. And Rashida was able to get that scrub from the internet because he was a kid. It definitely was the first time that I had ever heard revenge P used. Yeah. So Kai has not really been in the spotlight too much. I think he did a little bit of Love and Hip Hop. He was much more likable than Kelsey, and we're gonna get into that as well. But that's been his footprint. The underage revenge P, and now this. And I'm gonna tell you why I think he was set up. I didn't like Kelsey on let's see, let's get into this because it's a whole thing. Now T Hood was a rapper. I went through his catalog on Apple Music. I'm not really familiar with the song, so my guess is he's like a big time local Atlanta rapper. If you know his music and you like his music, definitely put him. Do I think he has mental challenges? I don't know. I mean, I think that a kid sending inappropriate pics to somebody is nothing new. If it was an older man, I think that's absolutely disgusting. I can't say he has mental challenges because when he was on the show, he seemed, lucid. He didn't seem like Diddy's son. So no, I don't really think he, is slow. I just think he was a kid who made a mistake, and because he was a kid, they were able to scrub it from the net. But yeah, I don't know T Hood, but this is what the sister said initially. Frost K set my brother up. She had her brother pow him and say she didn't know he shot my brother 5 times in the back and stomach, chest. They cleaned it up and hid the brother so the police wouldn't find the weapon. Her 2 brothers, one left the scene, but the one that lives on the property is hiding. She stated that he was leaving and her brother pow-powed him and said F her and him. Self-defense on what? STFU if you don't know what WTF you talking about? If someone is so-called beating you up in your house, why not call 911 to remove the person from the home? And he lived there as well. And Kai Frost lives there as well, which is the brother. Why wait on someone to be shot, then call 911? And again, your brother already lived there in the house. Why wait on your older brother to come to them and shoot him together? When 911 could have been called from 3 p.m., you wait till 3 to 4 more hours, then call 911, and you didn't even call 911. You had us call 911. Please STFU and stop eating D on this app. If this was a real self-defense situation, why would the brother leave the house before the police arrived? And there's no weapons, just a shot person that was already dead at the scene. You took time to clean up, not call 911 because the 911 call came from Lithuania. Then you called after police were already en route. Why run if it was domestic violence? This is the other brother, the one who said his ankle hurts. He shot him, but also left the scene before police came. He also stated that his sister called him to the property for help. Now, let me just say this. If you are beating the hell out of your girl, your baby mama, you might get shot. You might get shot. So we need to get the facts before, we really go in, because we technically don't really know. Could it have been domestic violence and self-defense? Maybe. Should the family be upset? Absolutely. Let's see. So this is Kai. That's Rashida. He actually looks just like her. I don't see no Kirk in him. Get up off this app yapping if you know what you talking about. There's not towards that Okay, so let me just say this. The sisters, I'm sure they're very emotional. They just lost their brother, and they talk like Rashida and Shorty Low. So some of this stuff you kind of have to piece together, because I'm sure they're just upset and they, want answers. Some of it is, nonsensical. That's not towards that comments. That's for all the ignorant comments that know they don't even make sense. If it's self-defense, you wouldn't run from the scene. You would stay at the scene because you did nothing wrong. They showed so much love for you today. I hate this happened to you, Tevin. This is my mama only son. He knew I'd do anything for him, and anything I hate this B even came into his life. She made all them posts, and I honestly don't care if she heard him. She get to see her brothers live another day. Y'all took mine. Y'all bees can ride. So Kelsey said, I'm livid. I didn't call my family for help. For one, I'm the only girl, and I know we wouldn't be right back together that same night. If anything, I don't involve folks in our business. That line right there tells me that potentially there was some domestic violence. I don't involve my folks in our business. I didn't call a brother. I didn't call anyone but his mother. That's my baby. Domestic violence is always sad because you never really know when the man or woman who is being, beaten defends the person who's beating them. She said, so please stop listening to people who weren't there. Listen to all those rumors and conspiracy theories will get nobody anywhere, but just following a false narrative. I hate I have to even post this, but I won't let y'all bully me and put the blame on me, making it seem like we weren't one. I ain't ever fathomed like this. I love my man with my entire heart, sending me threats. I am grieving too. I am hurting too. I didn't harm anyone or ask anyone to harm him. I didn't call for anyone to come help me. I didn't ask for this. I would never. My baby was still healing from being shot 3 times. We handled our business in private. Right there again. We handled our business in private. I think these are like context clues that maybe something physical was going on in that house. Let me see. I didn't harm him or ask anyone to harm him. I didn't call for anyone to come help me. I didn't ask for this. I would never. My baby was still healing from being shot 3 times. We handled our business in private. I am livid also. I didn't call my family for help. For one, I'm the only girl, and I know we wouldn't be right back together that same night. If anything, I don't involve my folks in our business. I didn't call a brother. I didn't call anyone but his mother. That's my baby. I don't care who's involved. I don't condone this. I am not okay. She also says, first off, I've been advised not to speak up by plenty of parties. I can't sit back and let this narrative being created go on. The love of my life is gone. The man I lay with and cuddle every single night is no longer here. So as I want to ask for respect and privacy, I won't, because I always defend my baby. I don't condone this shit in any way, shape, or form or fashion. I'm sick to my stomach. I don't wish this on anyone. My brain is all over the place. This is a total nightmare, but I'm going to get this off. I don't even have time to grieve or say my respects in the right manner because I'm defending myself. Being attacked by people who are creating weird and sick rumors. I'm not good at talking, but I would love to give insight and let the people who love him to get understanding. I don't have the right words, but I want to keep typing while also respecting his family and loved ones. Well, they don't respect you. And the Love and Hip Hop audience didn't like her either. So this is where it gets bad. And this is why I think maybe there was a setup. If she did, in fact, call her brother and not the police, what did you think would be the desired? What was your desired outcome? When they released this message this morning, I was like, I could go live and talk about this, but I wanted a little bit more to play out. This is a doozy.
SWAT team with the little shit with the big arms, they came and he was taken into handcuffs. I told you that was wrong. I don't condone that shit. I don't give a fuck whether or not. Like, I hear what y'all are saying, but y'all, like, you can't, like, I don't condone that shit.
I don't condone it, brother or not. So you're talking to the mom or a sister, and you are implementing your own brother in your husband's or your boyfriend's unaliving, the love of your life. But if he was actually beating on you, why would you call your family and not the police?
It's more to the story, so I don't.
Well, I don't understand how they would let him out if you told them that.
There's more to the story. I don't understand how you would let him out, which means that I guess the police held him for some point and couldn't keep him. So if they couldn't keep him, that there wasn't evidence, but you just gave them evidence on your own half brother. Because she's Kirk Frost's daughter, but not Rashida's daughter.
Their brother shot Tevin. They supposed to have him. Okay.
She said, your brother shot Tevin. And Kelsey says, exactly.
Okay, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to find out.
So, yeah, please do it. Like, I'm asking the same questions. What I'm saying is, like...
Okay, when can we get his things, Kay?
I don't know. They maybe have the wrong information. They tried to find him. They sent the little SWAT team with the little shit with the big arms. They came and he was taken into handcuffs. I told you that was wrong. I don't condone that shit. I don't give a fuck whether or not. Like,
these are multiple phone calls where she is implementing her brother in this man's unaliving with reckless abandon. If we go back to the sisters saying that he was shot at 3, but she called them, the family, hours later to call the police, and then she didn't call the police herself until the police were already on the way. This is sounding like a setup. This is sounding like a setup. Who just, to a non-family member, implements their brother, especially if you called him to protect you. That's the jacked up part. If you are getting beaten on and you call your brother and he takes out the man that's beating you, then you call the family. They said the family said that she had time to clean stuff up. Like, y'all didn't have any type of ring camera. I'm sorry, implicated. Implicated. I'm sorry. Did I say implemented? Sorry, it's been a long day. It sounds like the only person who had access to everybody would be Kelsey. And if your brother was defending you, would you be on the phone with your abuser's mom telling her that your brother did it? The family is the one that said that she called the brother. Now she may have been getting rid of the drugs. I mean, I don't even know how this plays out. If she's aware that somebody was shot and she did not call for help for hours, then she could be in trouble too. Hold on. You said rewind it. Did the mom say how is he out if you told the police your brother? Yeah, we can listen to it again.
I hear what y'all are saying, but y'all like you can't I don't condone that shit. It's more to the story, so I don't.
Well, I don't understand how they would let him out if you told them that your brother shot Tevin. They wouldn't. They supposed to have him. Okay, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna find out.
So yeah, please do it. Like I'm asking the same questions. What I'm saying is like.
Okay, when can we get his things, Kay?
I don't know. They maybe have the wrong information. They tried to find him. They sent the little SWAT team with the little shit with the big iron. They came and he was taken into handcuffs. I told you that was wrong. I don't.
Now, in the days of AI, we can't really technically say that's her voice because anybody, but she has a very specific, very grating voice. I remember her from Love and Hip Hop. Again, she was not well liked. She was kind of annoying and talked too much. Tragically, this young man was only 33 years old. So it seems like he has the type of family that's going to make sure that justice is served. Whatever the case is, if it's self-defense, then why wouldn't you have called the police yourself after you found him? Why call his family first? Like, that doesn't make sense. A lot of this doesn't make sense. So again, I'm glad that I did not cover the story earlier this morning because I think that the police just got her audio and decided that this man is the main suspect. It says T Hood murder case cops say suspect is son of Kirk and Rashida Frost, the Georgia prune. Huge update in the T Hood murder case down in Georgia. Cops have identified their top suspect, and he is the son of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta stars Kirk and Rashida Frost. TMZ obtained the incident report from the rapper Slang, and the Gwinnett County Police Department says their primary murder suspect is Kai Lasheed Frost. T Hood's mom also told TMZ the alleged killer is the son of Kirk and Rashida. As we reported, T Hood was shot at his Georgia home Friday, and he later died. It's since been revealed T Hood was dating Kirk and Rashida's daughter, and now cops say the rapper was shot in a domestic dispute, and they fingered Kirk and Rashida's son as their suspect. So, do y'all think that came specifically from her saying that to the mom, and the mom just giving her the tape where you admitted that it was your brother? What's up, Danielle? Thanks for being a member for 14 months. Love on High. If they are homeless, how will they pay fines? Exactly. That just means more court dates and more having them put in jail. DB, thanks for being a member for 16 months. If they can create all these detention centers for illegal immigrants like Alligator Alcatraz in 5 days, then how can they combat homelessness? I don't know how you're going to force somebody into any rehab facilities. I thought that the person has to freely go and be willing. I think when you are in rehab, you have to be willing to be in rehab. I don't know that somebody can just say you are going into rehab. So I don't know. I'm sure people, if it's not constitutional, then people will be filing lawsuits. There's a lot of actual advocates for the homeless. Maybe we don't see them as often because it's not so flashy, but there are definitely groups that advocate for homeless people. Caribbean Gal says, I was just about to put on the Amber Alert for you, ma'am. You've been missed so much. I'm gonna be doing more regular shows. I'm not even gonna hold you guys. I needed like a break. I'm not even lying. I needed a break. I needed to get away from R word, and I needed to get away from some of the darkest stuff that people had going through and constantly reporting on it. I've talked to a lot of like journalists, like legacy media journalists, about how they can report on things and not get invested in a way that, you know, you have emotional ties to the stuff that you're talking about. So that's really what I'm working on, especially as we get deeper and deeper in these things. So I just needed a break. But I'm gonna be doing my regular shows again. So I appreciate you guys for sticking around. But that was like a lot of very dark stuff for months on end. Chanel's reality. This is hella messy, and I'm here for it all. Thanks. And people who slept with R. Kelly all have that. I'm not. You know, you're not getting me in trouble. Y'all can read what she said. Hera, evening members chat. Hey, and thank you for being a member for 10 months. Damon says they were asking him to leave. She called his mom so that his mom would make him leave because he had already started getting into it with her and then started getting into it with the brother. Okay, so we got some inside information. No, I don't watch Black Tree TV. Yeah, you definitely do. Well, we gotta talk. Yeah, like the video and thank you, sweet tea, honey. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I got like an ear infection, so I couldn't drink today. I wanted to, especially since we were doing something messy. And there will be more messy content. There will be short videos that'll be more like the mess. Yeah, we're gonna not free brother love. So, you know, rest in peace to this young man. I don't know if the domestic violence claims are true, but again, he's 33 years old. We didn't hear anything. We didn't see anything about Kelsey having like bruises on her. We haven't heard that yet. So I'm sure more will be coming out because this is a full murder investigation. Y'all. Okay, so you remember I did a podcast with a reporter. Well, she went viral for this interview, and I was cracking up.
What is it that Sean Combs wants people to know?
He wants people to know that I think that he has reflected on the blessings that he's been given, on the imperfections that I think he sees in himself. I think he wants to get out of jail, reestablish a loving, present relationship with all of his 7 children. He wants to take care of his mother. Does he want to get back into music? Does he want to get back into business? I think he's someone who is always going to strive to do something, you know, exceptional. And
wait for it. What I like about Jerika is the fact that she's extremely blunt. This man is BSing the out of her, and just the response is so classic. But look at how she raises her eye.
Probably demanding and challenging. But I think the most demanding and challenging thing in front of him right now is to get back with his kids and get back with his mother and the people who love him and miss him.
So he's talked to you about getting back into music if he's released?
No. Honestly, he has not.
Okay.
One thing he said he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
He said that?
He did. He said to me he's going to be back in Madison Square Garden.
Doing what?
I guess being on stage.
When she said doing what, I lost it. When she said doing what, I lost it. Because let's be clear, there has never been a time or a space where Diddy has occupied a stage or a song that did not involve accompaniment from a feature. There would never be a time or space, even when he was at his biggest, which might have been 98 after Biggie was already out of the way, that Diddy could hold an audience's attention just with his own talent of rapping. You felt like you were going to go to Madison Square Garden and do what? Watch somebody else? What exactly would you be doing at Madison Square Garden? Because it would not be entertaining the crowds unless you had all of your Meek Mills and French Montana, and Meek and French have already moved on. Meek is with the the Princess of Dubai or something like that, and I'm sorry, French Montana is with the Princess of Dubai, and Meek Mill has moved on to that dude, the billionaire in the Hamptons, who's always hugging all the rappers like Lil Baby and the rest of them. So, you know, your two main groupies, friends, are gone. Mary is in her own stuff. Lil Kim ain't said nothing about Free Diddy. Didn't show up to not one court case, not nothing. Didn't write you a letter or anything. So who are you going to Madison Square? Are you just going to tour it? And Mark just kept right on talking. He knew exactly what she did there. But anyway. So let me refresh your memory before we get into Diddy doubling his lawsuit. His lawsuit went from 50 million to 100 million.
Those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if
Appeared
they
to be.
were. Right.
Sure.
Appeared to
Let
be.
me rephrase
right.
it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8.
Slow, ridiculous. Y'all, 8 to 9 months ago, the conspiracy theories were flowing. It was insane. They will, I guarantee you, be doing documentaries on how fast misinformation moved as it involved Diddy and how it has continued. There are so many misinformation and conspiracy channels, Instagrams, TikToks out there that I could see how it could play with somebody's mind. I could see it. Y'all remember what was going on. The Lamishas, the Courtney Burgesses, the other one.
Think about the series finale of Moesha. What happened to Miles? Jay-Z kidnapped Miles from Moesha. We have not seen that little boy in years. And where do you think Jimmy Hoffa's body is? Who do you think has it? And Diddy got her pregnant. Jay-Z had Farrah's luggage. Why you think the song was crying? Yo, I was in the back seat when Tupac got shot. I was in the back seat. The windows were tinted. Y'all couldn't see me. I was back there. The diddler did it. Judy from Family Matters. Diddy took her. Liza Minnelli was supposed to play Dina in Dreamgirls. And guess who made a phone call? Under my umbrella, Ella. All these hurricanes? Who do you think is controlling the weather machine?
Somebody said Radio will be there. I mean Kanye. They said Kanye will be there. I think when he distributed his own album, he sold like 4,000 or 5,000 copies when he did it on his own, outside of the machine, because he's a free thinker. But outside of the machine, it's not moving. Additionally, when you're talking about taking advantage of your underage cousin, that's not really something that people want to put on repeat. But okay. Care Bear. Hey, Mims, just wanted to say hi. Hope you and your family are doing well. We are. There is good news about Reddit, but I think Reddit should probably tell y'all on her own channel when she wants to. But there is some really good news about Reddit that we got last week. Reddit being my sister. We Get Busy says you were one of the folks shooting theories, but you're good now. I got vilified a lot of the times for saying things like, let's review exactly what Lamisha has said. Let's talk about Courtney Burgess and why I don't believe him. Let's look at these larger platforms who are choosing to platform Courtney Burgess and go into why I don't believe them. The baby oil. I had a chemist explain to me that it was not the date R word drug wouldn't be soluble in there. So putting it on the skin. I actually tried my damnedest while all this was going on. If something did not make sense to me, I said it without trying to call out or shame the other content creators. But I definitely spoke my mind when something did not make sense. Let me see. Y'all remember this?
not to come forward because I was gonna get killed.
You were talking about the baby oil as well. At some point, you kind of got hooked on what he was giving you. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I was hooked on it. It was to the point where if he didn't give it to me, like I was spazzing out for it. Like I was hooked on it. I remember doing a threesome with Kim Porter, and I remember him having us in the room, and I was telling him I was in love with him too.
What's up, peeps? Many of you have seen part one
for my video on Lamisha. And even now, I mean, we can kind of really get into it because today is a messy day. So like Sean Atwood had requested that I come on his channel to interview Busby. And I had my issues with Busby to the point where one of my like sources and, you know, one of like my main source who I really, really like trust and I were getting into it over Busby. And I was like, I don't want to interview Busby because A, I don't trust the Sean Atwood platform, and B, I don't trust Busby's intentions, and some of this feels weird and forced and rushed, and it seems like a money grab. And I'm thankful that I did not do that interview because it was listed in Jay-Z's lawsuit. So yeah, I think that if something seems feasible or plausible to me or it makes sense, I'll tell you guys, well, this makes sense. But if it doesn't, I don't mind fact checking. On this channel, I don't mind fact checking, and I don't mind turning down channels that I don't want to be affiliated with. Also, even like there was, I think Diddy is suing a documentary that I didn't even take the meeting for it. Yeah, I think like, so I try to just go based on, you know, I'm a God-fearing man. I kind of use my sense of discernment, but there's certain things that don't feel right to me and I bring it to you. This is the accusation. This is how I actually feel about it. We can't forget this.
Mustard on a beat, hoe.
Now, it said where Jaguar right, did she?
I actually miss her. But yeah, so technically I'm gonna be kind of looking into something that happened recently on Sean's channel. He interviewed a woman who claimed to be Epstein's niece. But the weird part about it was she also said she was Shia LaBeouf's sister. So being Epstein's niece didn't really raise any red flags because, you know, he probably does have nieces and nephews. But when you tie in a celebrity like that who does not have a sister, then it's akin to other people who have claimed to be connected to things and people that they weren't to garner attention to their cause. And then they move into, you know, other theories and conspiracies. So I'm definitely going to research her. But given the fact that she was on, you know, Sean's platform and not, what's up, Jamie? I saw you. I saw you posted a picture. You were looking nice this weekend. Yeah, I saw her on Sean's platform, and that raised some red flags for me. Chrissy, Lamisha still upsets me to this day. Those diabolical lies, y'all. I'm telling you, when 2 or 3 years happen and TikTok is going to find this, I guarantee you all of this is going to go viral. It's all going to, the craziness, the amount of people who came at me saying, you know, you're victim blaming. And I'm like, well, I just watched that movie and she just described the entire plot of the movie. And then people told me that I was effed up because she lived it. So the movie was based on her. I mean, it was a time to be alive. You had to watch your words to make sure that you weren't victim blaming while listening to somebody who was clearly lying, make all kinds of shit up. It was crazy. And those interviews got millions of views. So I wouldn't be surprised if eventually we see more lawsuits specifically from Diddy, especially for the people who made waves. Just like we saw a certain person backtrack on what they had said about Jay-Z. But okay, yeah, let's get into what's different. I wanted to show you guys this as well. This guy does body language and behavioral analysis. So I thought this was pretty interesting when he broke down Courtney and Ariel.
That one's moment the question is asked about the raid for this material. You see her get ahead of the answer and shake her head no, like no, that did not happen.
And I assume it is because of this material. Is that true?
I wouldn't say that.
Of this material, is that true?
I wouldn't say that.
She's telling us before I see her put a bit of distance between telling. First of all, notice what happens to the lawyer, to Ariel, the moment the question is asked about the raid for this material. You see her get ahead of the answer and shake her head no, like no, that did not happen.
And I assume it is because of this material. Is that true?
I wouldn't say that.
Of this material, is that true?
I wouldn't say that.
She's telling us before anybody answers that a raid did not happen. Then we see her kind of shift like this away from him. So we see her put a bit of distance between her and him. And if you look at her hands, they were kind of resting. She repositions and grips a little bit tighter, one hand with the other. It almost looks like she's moving away and bracing herself for this answer. And her head is signaling no. So she knows that there's something here that's not positive. It's a bad look. She's trying to get away from it. And also communicating that, no, this raid didn't happen. And then when she's talking,
So yeah, News Nation is definitely implicated in this. The name of the movie was Blink Twice. I literally watched it on the plane, and it was a good movie, but it was not Lamisha's life. It was a crazy time. But yeah, let me get into the $100 million lawsuit. Let me see. News Nation likewise knew or recklessly disregarded that its statements about the existence of such corroborating police report were false. Given Mitchell's history of fabricating claims against celebrities, News Nation had every reason to doubt the veracity of her allegations against Mr. Combs, and because no such report existed, and in fact, a report that did exist and which is available to the public thoroughly discredited Mitchell's client's claims against Mr. Combs. The actual police report was also publicly filed again on May 9, 2025 by a co-defendant in the California Federal District Court case filed by Mitchell on behalf of her client in a motion seeking sanctions against Mitchell for the frivolous lawsuit. Y'all, he has upped this lawsuit by $50 million. Now, I don't think Ariel Mitchell Kidd nor Courtney have $50 to spare, but I think that they're actually going after News Nation. And I don't know how deep their pockets are, but Diddy's legal defense team was a star-studded one, and I'm pretty sure he's in the hole. So anybody he can go after, he will. And he's definitely seeking revenge. Sorry. One thing that you can do to help yourself when you're about to be sued, if you are legacy media or new media, is to let people know that it's an allegation. You can also retract the story. That's for any content creators out there. You can also retract the story. They did neither. Let me see. On or about October 31st, 2024, Mitchell appeared on News Nation again, this time with her client Burgess on News Nation's Banfield show upon information belief at News Nation studio in New York, which is also broadcast on YouTube. The host introduced the interview by announcing that Burgess just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence of Diddy's freak-offs and parties. His name is Courtney Burgess, and he says a friend gave him 11 flash drives that belonged to the late Kim Porter, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of her 4 kids. On those drives, the witness says 8 videos featured 8 celebrities at Diddy's freak-offs or parties and that 6 were males, 2 were females. Now, I distinctly remember this. I was like, the court case will eventually end. And if we don't see any videos of Diddy abusing the children, then Courtney could be in trouble. Courtney was slated to make money off of that book. So, the court case is over. There was nothing with a minor included in that court case. Why did I get in trouble about the book? I got in trouble when I was talking about the book because the pictures that he showed were pictures that were easily Googled. I mean, one photo was of Justin Bieber and a guy, and you could literally Google that photo. So when asked about it, the answer was they had released that to the internet, years before. So it was like, wait, so you were the person releasing these types of photos to the internet? And it wasn't Justin doing anything untoward with an older man. It was just Justin and a man. It could have been his dad. It could have been his priest. It could have been anybody. Not his priest. He's not Catholic. He has like, what are like deacons? He's not Catholic. He's Christian. I'm not too sure of the denomination, but he doesn't have priests. But you guys get the point. It was very outlandish claims. Why would Kim give this man the flash drive? He can barely speak. The host went on to note that because the 8 people in the videos, the 8 celebrities in the videos were allegedly victims of sex crimes, we know who they are, but we will not be naming them, famous or not. This statement was false, and the News Nation host knew it was false, or at minimum, recklessly disregarded whether the statements were true or false because she had never seen such videos, because they do not exist, and because a host of publicly available information put her on notice that her sources, Burgess and Mitchell, were not credible. Although the host observed that Burgess had testified before the grand jury, the segment did not describe those grand jury proceedings, nor could it. As is commonly known, grand jury proceedings are secret. So, guys, another thing I called out in real time was the fact that they were on the steps of the courthouse right after they left. How would TMZ and News Nation know that they had just testified to a grand jury? These were the things that didn't make sense at the time. And there was a difference between people in lawsuits making claims about Diddy in print and in lawsuits, and Courtney Burgess going and, I believe, or we'll say this, maybe allegedly receiving a fee to come on these shows and putting out a book that quote unquote came from Kim with a man who I felt was shady in the first place. Like, that's very different than somebody saying I was abused and I'm going to the courts to rectify it. Courtney always struck me as somebody who was not trustworthy. What the segment describes were Burgess's false claims that he was in possession of videotapes of Mr. Combs sexually assaulting minors and celebrities. In response to the host's questioning, Burgess falsely stated that all 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, 2 to 3, possibly 3, appeared to be minors. All appeared inebriated, and all, to be honest, were victims of sexual assault. So that bothered me as well. Appeared to be minors. So I thought it was strange that he could be there with his attorney and he would make such a generalized statement. How would you know? And if you did know, you would say they were kids, but you're not sure. I see a lot of lawsuits coming. Burgess also repeated his false statements about the fake memoir. The host asked him, "Do you know if the notes from the book really were for Kim Porter?" Burgess responded, "Yes, because I spoke to her probably like 6 hours before I received it." In another interview, Burgess claimed that the federal law enforcement seized the flash drives from his home. This too was also false. News Nation knew that these statements were false when it published them, or at minimum was highly aware that they were probably false and recklessly disregarded their falsity because, among other things, Burgess was a highly dubious source with questionable motivations whose credibility was in serious doubt, as explained above. The allegations he was making about having come into possession of such sensitive materials from the then deceased mother of Mr. Combs' children were facially improbable, including because of the date Ms. Porter's children had already publicly denied Burgess' claims and confirmed he was misrepresenting himself, and because News Nation, of course, had not seen any such videos or flash drives because none existed. Mitchell made statements throughout the interview that were unambiguously intended to convince viewers not only that Burgess was telling the truth, but also that she had independently corroborated his claims. Whoa, sorry, my light. Hold on. There we go. But she had independently corroborated his claims and was vouching for him. Mitchell made similar statements on or about the same day as Banfield YouTube broadcast. During a separate interview she and Burgess gave outside of the Federal District Court in Manhattan. In that interview, the reporter asked, "I know you can't mention celebrities per se. You did mention some in the interview. So just to clarify, you can back that up with actual footage." Mitchell responded, it's things that we have. Mitchell intended this statement to convince viewers that Burgess's false claims of Mr. Combs were true, even though she knew or recklessly disregarded at the time that his claims were false. Now, if anybody is a historian of this, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Ariel had said that there were some celebrity tapes that she had gotten that she reached out to the celebrities so that the celebrities could purchase them. In terms of Courtney's tapes, I think I remember her saying that she did not watch them. I don't really know. I don't really know what do you get out of this? Some people feel like she was put in this position to make, or her and Courtney were making up outlandish stories so that when everything kind of calmed down, Diddy could say, "Look at all the craziness," and this didn't happen. It's easily provable that, were you called to grand jury? I don't know. In her shameless pursuit of the spotlight, Mitchell repeated these known lies in a documentary, The Making of a Bad Boy, that aired on NBC's streaming platform Peacock on January 14th. In the documentary, Mitchell endorsed the ludicrous allegations of her client Burgess, stating that Burgess has done interviews where he purported to own several flash drives, that included tapes with 8 distinct individuals, including A-list celebrities and Diddy, all engaged in sex. He believes that these people were intoxicated and that they may not have known they were being recorded. Then, explicitly endorsing Burgess' known lies as truths, Mitchell added, and Courtney ultimately handed over the video to the federal government. These statements were completely false. Mitchell knew, or at a minimum recklessly regarded, that these statements were false because no such video was ever turned over to the government, because no such video exists, and because there were numerous reasons for Mitchell to doubt Burgess's credibility, including that Ms. Porter's children had confirmed his claims of having received sensitive information from their mother were false and that he was misrepresenting himself. Mitchell did not stop there. She continued to lend credence to Burgess's lies, asserting that Mr. Combs took... Y'all remember in the book where they had said that, how do I want to put this? Diddy had taken... that there was supposed to be a threesome, and Diddy had... What was it like? There was a threesome, and Diddy had... How do I want to do this? Instead of it being him and Kim as the main people, it was him and Albie. And that's when Albie had initially said that there was flash drives and there was going to be a book coming out. And then the kitty cat had said that that Courtney was lying because she actually had parts of Kim's memoir. And then when that came out about Albie Shore, he then came back and said, nope, that didn't happen, and Courtney was a liar. So at this point, I think that Diddy might have a case. I mean, if the grand jury got a hold of video footage with Diddy with a minor that Courtney allegedly had, wouldn't that have been included in the trial? Mitchell did not stop there. She continued to lend credence to Burgess's lies, asserting that Mr. Combs took these videos, which she knew did not exist, so that he could wield power over the purported subjects. It was to advance his influence and his power, because now I have them on video where I can say, I'm going to take this to your wife. I'll take this to your husband. I'll take this to the public, and I'll ruin you if you don't do this for me. Now, that could be true. There could be videos. They say all Diddy's parties. They say that he had video recorders in the trees. So maybe, I don't know. Allegedly, who knows at this point? But as people like Tyrone Blackburn are getting sued, and we're going to get more into that court case because Tyrone now owes some money, we have a lot to discuss. I am definitely back, you guys. During the interview and making the band Bad Boy, Mitchell asserted with no basis in fact, with utter disregard for the truth, that Mr. Combs is a man who has done awful things to hundreds, maybe thousands of people. On October 7, 2024, Newsfation, Mitchell also falsely claimed that she had done research indicating that baby oil may be used as a conduit for transmitting drugs mixed into the oil to another person for the purpose of incapacitating them. Mitchell suggested, moreover, that Combs did this to one of her clients, i.e. mixed drugs with baby oil, and doused her client with it, thereby lowering her defenses. That statement was a lie. Mitchell performed no such research, and even if she had, there is no scientific basis for asserting that baby oil could be infused with drugs to incapacitate anyone, so it was at minimum reckless to say otherwise. Additionally, there was no evidence presented at Mr. Combs' criminal trial that any baby oil was used as a conduit for transmitting drugs. Instead, the evidence at Mr. Combs' criminal trial proved, y'all gave me hell. I'm sitting here like thinking about it as we were going. Y'all gave me hell over some of these things, especially the baby oil stuff. And then people were going to other people's chats saying, Mims is saying you're a liar. He said he talked to a chemist. I don't believe it. I believe that the baby oil was used to, like, y'all, not all of y'all, but people were giving me hell about that, especially the baby oil stuff. And I was like, well, blame the chemist I talked to. I just wanted to see if it was even possible. Oh man, that seems like a lifetime ago now, though. Let me see. Defendants eagerly peddled these lies to enrich themselves. Burgess has profited from his fake Kim Porter memoir, which prior to being pulled down from the Amazon website, briefly rose to the top of its bestseller list. Burgess's craving willingness to profit from the fabricated memoir proves that he is callously indifferent to the emotional distress of Kim Porter's children and has nothing but contempt for her feelings of Mrs. Porter's extended family and many friends who were heartbroken by her ultimately dying. Mitchell has also sought profit from her false and defamatory statements about Mr. Combs. Mitchell has seized every opportunity to promote herself in the media and has insisted on valuable benefits and payments in exchange for interviews, including first-class air travel, 4-star hotel accommodations, hair and makeup allowances, and a materials fee for copies, among other things. Demand letters sent on behalf of one of her clients who sued Mr. Combs. News Nation has likewise profited from repeating and amplifying Burgess's and Mitchell's lies, drawing viewers and promoting its programming based on wholly unsubstantiated lies that had been revealed as false. Had News Nation conducted even the most modest fact-checking and or reasonably questions its sources who had a history of making things up. Defendants made false and defamatory statements about Mr. Combs knowing that they were false and with reckless disregard of their falsity. Defendants made these false and defamatory statements in bad faith as part of a deliberate effort to damage Mr. Combs' reputation, undermine his business, and by painting him as a debauched and pedophile, to poison the public's perception of him and deprive him of a fair trial. One more thing. So I remember a video where Sean had said that Jay-Z's team had reached out to him. So he had to remove all videos of the kitty cat. So all of those interviews where things were said about Jay-Z, he was forced to remove them within a span of time in order to avoid his channel being taken or the legal ramifications. So like I was telling you guys, you can retract the story. If somebody reaches out to you and says that something that you did was false and you knew it was false, you can retract, you can take down the video, and that is what Sean did. So that's why I was kind of like, I don't know, I have to really look into the Epstein niece. I listened to the story, but again, once she started saying that she was, I think she said she was Shia LaBeouf's sister, it was that kind of hit me as strange. So as a person who interviewed Lamisha and Courtney and Kitty Cat and all of these other people, to then jump right into that was, you know, kind of strange to me. But yeah, this was a time on YouTube. Let's see. The people who heard and believed defendants' lies have accused Mr. Combs on social media that is consumed by hundreds of millions of viewers each day and every day of being a debauched monster and a pedo. Moreover, many viewers of the social media posts in which defendants' falsehoods are published and republished post harassing and threatening messages against Mr. Combs. The unrelenting tide of negative publicity and threatening social media posts resulting from defendants' lies have caused and will continue to cause Mr. Combs severe reputational harm. Blah, 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 blah. $100 million. $100 million is crazy, but he might get something. I thought about reaching out to him. To be honest with you, I did think about reaching out to Bilal. Bilal was a man who was Will Smith's assistant and best friend. Jada famously said she was going to sue him, but I have checked the books. No lawsuit is pending against Bilal, so I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Bilal and maybe talk to Will. I don't know. Like, he was literally hiding out of the country. I couldn't even know where he was at when he interviewed with me. So he had some very serious allegations. I have no idea because the book was supposed to be out, I think, last year. So he was definitely one of my more interesting interviews. But guys, I'll definitely see you tomorrow. Like I said, I'll be mixing in some more like funny, messy content, but we're still going to be doing serious content. There, too much is going on in the world for me not to talk about it. So thank you guys for being here. I will see you tomorrow. And Jamie, it's nice seeing you. It's been a minute.